Welcome to the part 3 of the video. Let's continue from chapter 13, Voices from the Ashes, the Hibakusha and their enduring legacy. The atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't just statistics. They were human tragedies that shattered lives and forever altered destinies. At the heart of this story lie the Hibakusha, a Japanese term meaning bomb-affected people. These survivors, their bodies and spirits scarred by the bombings, became powerful voices for peace and testaments to the enduring human spirit. Through the gates of hell, first-hand accounts of devastation. Each Hibakusha has a harrowing tale to tell. Some recall the blinding flash, the deafening roar, and the searing heat that instantly transformed their world into a nightmare. Others describe the aftermath, the smoldering ruins, the cries of the injured, and the desperate search for loved ones amidst the chaos. Many faced horrific injuries, burns, radiation sickness, and the lingering effects of exposure. These first-hand accounts, raw and unfiltered, offer a chilling glimpse into the true cost of war in the atomic age. Beyond the physical scars, the psychological trauma of survival. The trauma of the bombings extended far beyond the physical. Survivors grappled with survivor's guilt, the haunting memories of the devastation, and the constant fear of radiation-induced illnesses. Many faced discrimination due to the stigma attached to radiation sickness. The psychological scars, often invisible, became a heavy burden to bear. Yet, amidst the suffering, stories of resilience emerged. Hibakusha communities formed, offering support and solace to one another. A legacy of peace. Hibakusha speak out for a world free of nukes. The Hibakusha refused to become mere victims. They became powerful advocates for peace and nuclear disarmament. They shared their stories on international platforms, urging world leaders to learn from the horrors they witness and commit to a world free from nuclear weapons. The Hibakusha's unwavering commitment to peace serves as a potent message for future generations. Sharing the stories, museums and memorials keep the memory alive. The legacy of the Hibakusha is preserved through museums and memorials erected in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These institutions house artifacts, photographs, and survivor testimonies, offering visitors a stark reminder of the bombing's devastation. Peace parks, with their tranquil gardens and eternal flames, serve as places for reflection and a commitment to a future free from war. Myths and the importance of remembering. An enduring myth is that the Hibakusha are a homogeneous group. In reality, their experiences are diverse, shaped by their age, location, and the specific ways they were affected by the bombings. Another misconception is that the Hibakusha's stories are relics of the past. Their message of peace remains relevant in a world where nuclear weapons continue to pose a threat. The Hibakusha are the human face of the atomic bombings. Their stories, a testament to the horrors of war and the power of the human spirit, serve as a stark reminder of the responsibility we face to prevent such tragedies from ever happening again. By remembering the Hibakusha and their unwavering commitment to peace, we can work towards a brighter future free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. Chapter 14. The Shadow of the Mushroom Cloud, Enduring Lessons from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't isolated events. They cast a long shadow over the course of history, shaping the geopolitical landscape, and forcing humanity to confront the devastating potential of science. From the ashes of these devastated cities, we must glean crucial lessons to guide us towards a more peaceful future. A nuclear shadow over humanity, the devastating power of the atom. The bombings remain a stark reminder of the immense destructive power unleashed by nuclear weapons. The sheer scale of the devastation, the flattened cities, the horrific injuries, and the lingering effects of radiation serves as a chilling testament to the consequences of nuclear war. The estimated 130,000 deaths in Hiroshima and Nagasaki represent only a fraction of the true cost. As the bombings continue to claim lives through radiation-induced illnesses generations later, beyond the battlefield, the ethical quandaries of nuclear warfare. The bombings ignited a fierce debate about the ethics of using such weapons against civilian populations. The vast majority of casualties were civilians, raising profound questions about the morality of nuclear warfare. Was the swift end to World War II justification enough for such an indiscriminate attack? This question continues to resonate, urging us to consider the true human cost of war in the nuclear age. A world transformed, the dawn of the Cold War and the nuclear arms race. The bombings ushered in the chilling era of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union, locked in a rivalry for global dominance, embarked on a nuclear arms race, stockpiling ever more destructive weapons. The concept of mutually assured destruction became a terrifying reality, holding the world hostage to the threat of nuclear annihilation. Learning from the past, a call for peace and disarmament. The legacy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki compels us to prioritize peace above all else. The Hibakusha, the survivors who became powerful advocates for disarmament, offer a potent message. Their stories serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of pursuing peaceful solutions to conflict. International treaties limiting nuclear proliferation offer a glimmer of hope, but the work towards complete disarmament remains a critical imperative. Beyond disarmament, building a culture of peace. The pursuit of peace extends beyond disarmament. It requires fostering understanding, tolerance, and cooperation between nations. Educational initiatives that promote empathy and cultural exchange can help break down stereotypes and build bridges between potential adversaries. A commitment to diplomacy and a rules-based international order offer a path towards a world free from the fear of nuclear war. Myths and the responsibility of memory. An enduring myth is that the bombings were a necessary evil that quickly ended the war. The historical record is more complex, with the Soviet invasion and ongoing diplomatic efforts playing a role in Japan's surrender. Another misconception is that the threat of nuclear war has diminished with the end of the Cold War. The reality is that nuclear weapons remain a potent threat, and the potential for accidental detonation or proliferation to rogue states requires constant vigilance. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki stand as a stark reminder of the destructive potential unleashed by humanity. By learning from the lessons of history, embracing a culture of peace, and actively pursuing disarmament, we can work towards a future where the mushroom cloud becomes a relic of the past, and the Hibakusha's message of peace resonates for generations to come. The choice for a world free from nuclear weapons lies with us, a responsibility we must shoulder collectively for the sake of humanity's future. Chapter 15. Towards a nuclear-free world. The ongoing struggle. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't simply a grim chapter in history. They serve as a stark point of departure, a stark reminder of the path humanity must not tread again. The decades since have witnessed a continuous struggle of fight against nuclear proliferation and a relentless pursuit of a world free from these devastating weapons. Disarmament efforts, treaties, and challenges. The horror of Hiroshima and Nagasaki spur international efforts to limit the spread of nuclear weapons. The Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty (NPT), signed in 1968, aimed to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons capabilities and promote disarmament. It has achieved some success, with over 190 nations signing on. However, challenges remain. Some countries, like North Korea, have defied the treaty and pursued nuclear programs. Additionally, concerns linger about the stockpiles held by existing nuclear powers, raising questions about their commitment to disarmament. Beyond treaties, the role of activism and advocacy to fight for a nuclear-free world extends beyond formal treaties. Grassroots movements like the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons (ICAN), awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017, play a crucial role in raising public awareness and pressuring governments to dismantle their nuclear arsenals. Hibakusha continue to share their stories, serving as powerful reminders of the human cost of nuclear war and inspiring new generations of peace activists. Technological advancements, a double-edged sword. Scientific advancements offer a potential path towards disarmament. Verification technologies can help to ensure compliance with nuclear treaties, while innovations in nuclear energy production could lessen the dependence on weapons-grade materials. However, these same advancements can be a double-edged sword. Concerns exist about the development of new, miniaturized nuclear weapons, blurring the lines between tactical and strategic weapons and potentially lowering the threshold for their use. The looming threat, nuclear terrorism and rogue states. The specter of nuclear terrorism continues to cast a long shadow. The potential for nuclear materials falling into the wrong hands, or a terrorist organization acquiring a nuclear weapon, remains a chilling possibility. Rogue states with nuclear ambitions pose another threat, highlighting the need for robust international cooperation and non-proliferation efforts. 10_Spark. Epilogue, Reflections on Peace and Humanity. The story of Hiroshima and Nagasaki is ultimately a story about humanity, our capacity for immense destruction, and our enduring hope for peace. Standing at the precipice of nuclear annihilation, we are forced to confront a crucial question. Can we learn from the past and build a future free from the threat of nuclear war? The answer lies in our collective action. By embracing diplomacy, fostering dialogue, and prioritizing disarmament, we can turn the tide. The legacy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki compels us to choose peace, to remember the victims, and to honor the Hibakusha's unwavering commitment to a world where the mushroom cloud becomes a distant memory, replaced by the promise of a brighter, safer future for generations to come. The choice is ours. Chapter 16. The Long Shadow, Counting the Cost of the Atomic Bombs. The atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki unleashed a horror that continues to cast a long shadow. While the immediate devastation was immense, the true human cost extends far beyond the initial blasts. This chapter delves into the complexities of estimating casualties and the enduring legacy of radiation exposure. The fog of war, estimating casualties. Accurately pinpointing the total number of casualties from the atomic bombs is a complex and ongoing challenge. The chaos following the bombings, the destruction of infrastructure, and the long-term effects of radiation make precise figures elusive. Here's a breakdown of the available estimates. Immediate casualties, the immediate deaths caused by the blasts, thermal radiation, and initial fires are estimated to be around 70,000 in Hiroshima and 40,000 in Nagasaki. Fallout's Grim Reaper, radiation sickness claimed countless lives in the weeks, months, and years following the bombings. Estimates vary, but tens of thousands are believed to have succumbed to radiation exposure. A generational tragedy, the enduring effects. The bomb's impact wasn't confined to those directly affected. Radiation exposure had a ripple effect, impacting future generations. Cancer risk. Survivors faced a significantly increased risk of developing various cancers, including leukemia, thyroid cancer, and lung cancer. Genetic mutations. Radiation damage can be passed on to future generations, potentially leading to birth defects and developmental issues in children of survivors.